Probably with us another 5 minutes of the next hour. Leaked UN documents reveal plan for Green World Order by 2012. Here's the actual UN document. And that's the actual Jimmy Vaughn playing. Another great patriot. And now add Stephen King to the list. But reading this, it says Green World Order, the capstone of which will be carbon taxes, focused political document calling for a radical redistribution of 45 trillion transfer of wealth from richer nations. These are quotes from this internal UN plan. I mean, this is just out. This is like having the document of people planning to rob the bank down the street and no one gets in trouble. Just incredible. Let's go to Adam in Texas. You're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
Hey there, Alex, Mr. Chapman. It's a privilege to speak with both of you. I'm going to be off the map here, and I apologize for that, but I'll be brief. Time is of the essence here in Texas, and I'll be the first to say that it was an atrocious thing that Ms. Medina did. Certainly, I think, took advantage of your platform just a bit. And I was really ticked off about that. But I kind of went through a progression, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this and maybe appeal to your sense of perspective and purpose in all this mess. Chapman said, the best thing we can do at this point is, bring people back home that are in political office right now. And I think that's where we need to start here in Texas. So if you go through the progression, that's what Mrs. Medina did was certainly a blow to my heart. Like I said, I was very ticked off, but I'm just curious, what's the other option? I mean, all right. Well,
let me say something here, and then we'll get Bob's take on it. Okay, for those that just tuned in other parts of the country and the world, a contested primary for the Republican Party nomination for governor in Texas. Deborah Medina comes out, goes on Glenn Beck, says people have a right to question 9/11. She loses about 5-6 points in the polls. Does a bunch of other interviews saying it's healthy, it's good to question, people have a right. Then she went on Dallas radio and said it was, and agreed that it was despicable and horrible, and that 9/11 truth is a cult. And then of course I told you her people would misrepresent, and unfortunately some of them did. That I was saying she's bad because she's not 9/11 truth, and I said over and over again that's not the issue, but that's how deception works, which makes me more concerned, frankly, about her campaign. No, I said we need a response, and we're 4 days into this, no response to 9/11 truth about how we're suddenly despicable. It's the flip-flop from we're healthy and good, that's a quote, to we're now despicable. But certainly, I said yesterday, I said today, go ahead and vote for Medina. I don't think she's a bad person. I agree with a lot of things she's saying, but I have a right to be hurt and to say that's wrong, and will you flip-flop on other things? Bob Chapman.
I think you've covered it. I think it is the way you've said it is, and she's not everything that you'd want her to be, but she's certainly better than the other two.
Yeah. I just don't like this lesser of two evil things when somebody says, I'm a rock. When I say something, that's the way it is. And it was the enjoyment of, are they just, despicable cult of dangerous scum? Absolutely. Absolutely, Mark Davis. I agree. It's ridiculous that I would even imagine to be involved with those people. And then I'm like, my God, what a betrayal. And 99% of the emails and calls we've gotten are people totally agree. But I've moved on. I just said yesterday, go ahead and vote for her. I said today, go ahead and vote for her. But now I don't have a good feeling. I mean, I'll tell you that. But we know what Kay Bailey and Perry are. I mean, we know they're devils. And with your logic, that's really my logic, of even if somebody's new and it takes a while for them to politically break them, that will give us some time. And maybe it'll turn out if she was elected governor that it was the real deal. The thing is, the Beck situation lost her, depending on the poll, 5 to 10 points she would have gained and 5 to 8 points she had. They're different polls. So she lost, any way you slice it, 10 points with her Beck thing, not because of 9/11 truth, but the flip-flopping that day coming out. I mean, it's bad news. It's hour number 4, final hour. Founder of Cryptome.org coming up. Big defenders of the First Amendment and the Internet tied into the Electronic Frontiers Foundation. Let's talk to Kip in Illinois. You're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
It's great to talk to you and Bob, and I support everything you guys are doing, and I commend Nigel for standing up and speaking out against Von Humphrey.
Von Poopy? Herman Von Poopy, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But I picked up the paper this morning, and I was reading it. One of our representatives is proposing a bill to criminally charge people for using radio scanners that monitor police and emergency frequencies, and they claim, it's just to monitor the bad guys. None of the media or anybody who listens at home will be affected by it, but it was just something that blew my mind to see that in my own paper.
Well, your phone's breaking up a little bit, but I appreciate your call. Did you understand what he was saying, Bob?
Perfectly, and I agree with him. And for several years, when I lived in the Los Angeles area, I used to monitor the calls as well because we had the Watts riots in 1964, and that's when it started because, you want to know what's going on, and particularly if it's in your neighborhood. And we knew all the police calls and everything. And there was nothing that we did other than listen to try to protect ourselves. And I think that sort of thing is wrong, to have legislation that keeps you from listening to what the police are talking about.
Well, it's worse than that. I mean, Oklahoma passed a law where you can't put burglar bars on your house because the government, I guess, wants the criminals to get in, and so they can get in. You can't even fortify your house with more than 3 locks on a door. I mean, this imagine criminals running government and what they would do, and that's everything they're doing. Let's jam in one more, then we're going to plug the International Forecaster for folks out there. Let's talk to Jimmy in Arizona. You're on the air.
Alex, great show. Hey, Bob, I was wondering if you could comment on the allegations that came out earlier this week that Alex Jones is a phony who can't handle his business.
All right, I appreciate your call, sir. You guys are pathetic. And the more Hollywood stars we get on, the more, and we play the Stephen King stuff next week, you'll just get more jealous and make up whatever you want about me. I love it, okay? Keep sending me any 5 listeners you've got. I love it, and I appreciate your call, Jimmy. Bob, you've talked about this before. When somebody's number one, which you've been number one in your field, I mean, it's almost like a soap opera. The new lies that get told the next week, isn't it?
That's right. They want to knock you down no matter who you are. They want to be first, and they can't be, and they're jealous. It's a terrible thing, and I've seen it over and over in my lifetime, and it makes me very unhappy that human nature can be that way. You would think if people are doing something right and helping other people, that it would be looked on kindly. Unfortunately, there are those people out there who are malcontents, and that's okay. God made us all different.
Well, Bob, I made mistakes. Early on, I was way too trusting, and parasites, grifters, people with fake names, crooks, tried all sorts of stuff, and I discovered it, and it was good. It was a growing experience for me. And we're just excited we're having such success, and we're going to move forward and continue to wake everybody up. And, that's just the end of it. That's the end of it. And, all the fraud, all of it, I trust in God. And every time I get persecuted, suddenly it's as if the streets are paved in gold for me. All these other doors open, and I just trust in God 110%. Bob, tell folks about the International Forecaster. They go to internationalforecaster.com. And do you have that number where they can call and get a free copy, a sample hard copy?
I certainly do. That's 877-479-8178. Toll free, 877-479-8178. Free copy, either by email or hard copy, current copy. And if you want to, you can go to the site, theinternationalforecaster.com.
Absolutely. TheInternationalForecaster.com, and my website's Infowars.com. Bob, always look forward to seeing you. We'll see you here live again with us, God willing, next Friday. Godspeed, my friend.
Thank you, and thank you all for listening.
We're going to defend the First Amendment and the Internet straight ahead, right here on GCN.